Shadow Moltres is coming out in Pokemon Go tomorrow, and it is a very, very powerful fire and flying type Pokemon, especially with the legacy move of Sky Attack. However, is it going to be worth your time, energy, and effort to raid for this Pokemon, to try to get a good IV1, and then to use your resources to power up, because it will cost money to be able to max this Pokemon? So let's find out in Pokemon Go. So welcome to the Trainer Club. Here we go. Shadow Moltres, the shiny is out. Great looking Pokemon, and it is going to be fire and flying. It is going to be around for the entire month of October, every single weekend, starting on the 1st, which is going to be Sunday. So if you guys did not get the Zapdos, you have today, which is going to be Saturday, to be able to do so. And I just want to give a big shout out to the people purchasing the watches yesterday, to Luis as well as Mufti for getting your watches in less than 30 seconds. Congratulations on all those watches. We will have more in the future if you guys are interested. So this Pokemon, being fire and flying, is going to max out at 3,917 with an attack of 251, a defense of 181, and a stamina of 207, so a little bit more friendly to the attacker category. This Pokemon has a double weakness to rock, which is problematic. It's going to help us take down this Pokemon a lot faster. If you want to see the counter guide, check it out. It's also going to be weak, single weakness to electric as well as water. And as far as its resistances, it's going to double resist bug as well as grass, and single resist fire, fairy, fighting, steel, as well as ground. So this Pokemon usually would actually double resist ground, but since it is going to be fire, which is weak to ground, flying, that's going to be double resistant to ground, neutralizes out at 1-time resistance. Pretty heavy Pokemon for the resistance category, which could make it good for PvP, which we will also check out in this video. The fast moves of this Pokemon will be Wing Attack as well as Fire Spin, and then it's going to get a bunch of fire moves, which are going to be Heat Wave, Fire Blast, Overheat. It's also going to get Ancient Power, and then finally it will get Sky Attack, which will require an elite TM to be able to optimize. So let's check out what is going to be the strongest move on this Pokemon overall. Which moveset is it going to be? Let's find out. At the top, Shadow Moltres with Fire Spin and Sky Attack at 47.13, followed by a double flying Wing Attack and Sky Attack at 46.06. And we have all fire type at 43.75 with the Fire Spin and Overheat. And we have the regular Moltres with Wing Attack and Overheat. And then we're going into the actual regular form of Moltres without the Shadow at Fire Spin and Sky Attack at 40.7. So obviously the best combination is going to be Fire Spin and Sky Attack. However, typically when we're going after Pokemon, having a mismatched typing is not the most optimal thing for us to do. It would be preferential for us to go in one category all fire or another category all flying. On occasion that does work out, but for the most part it does not work out so well like that. So let's check it out in the fire category to see if it's going to be better than Reshiram, see if it's going to be better than Shadow Entei, and then we will get into the flying category. Let's find out, because we got to compare it to Mega Rayquaza with Dragon Ascent. At the top, Mega Charizard Y, no surprise there. That is the strongest fire type in the game, all fire type moves at 51.91, followed very closely by the Mega Blaziken. Both of these Pokemon need to have the Comday move of Blast Burn at 51.65. Then we have the Reshiram Fire Spin Fusion Flare, which is the moveset that massively bumped up this Pokemon at 46.8. Then the Mega Charizard X, followed by Shadow Entei with Fire Fang and Overheat at 44.12. And then we have the Shadow Ho-Oh Incinerate, and it has to be the Apex Ho-Oh with the Sacred Fire Plus to make it this powerful at 43.85. And then in the 7th spot overall, we have the Shadow Moltres with Fire Spin Overheat at 43.79, which is followed pretty relatively closely actually by the Shadow Blaziken. The Mega Houndoom comes in the 9th spot, and in the 10th spot, the Magma Storm Heatran. So if we look at this, guys, when we take a Shadow Pokemon compared to a non-Shadow Legendary, let's just compare apples to apples here, because I mean they're kind of similar in the fact that they do take paid resources from raids to be able to get them XL candy to be able to power them up. The Reshiram is a decent amount stronger, and then eventually maybe Reshiram could have a Shadow as well, and if it does have a Shadow, man, that Pokemon's going to be very strong in this game. It's going to absolutely demolish all these other Pokemon, and it will be very powerful. I don't know if they're going to bring that out because it's going to be quite OP, but we will see in the future. So then we also have, if we're talking about Shadow Pokemon, while we do have the Moltres out here for the fire category, the Shadow Entei is stronger, and the Moltres isn't too much stronger than the Shadow Blaziken, which is a budget counter. But if we're taking the Reshiram in comparison to the Moltres, the Shadow form does require an extra 64 XL candy, which is more raids. So for me personally, I would rather go for the Reshiram in the power up. You can get that one lucky, and you can spend 50% of the Stardust than it is in comparison to here for the fire category. But just remember that the Sky Attack is the strongest move on this Pokemon. So let's see if this Pokemon is worth overall for the Sky. Sitting at the top, we have the strongest Pokemon in the game for the flying category, Air Slash and Dragon Ascent at 70.67. Okay, so 70.67 is extremely strong. It is such an OP Pokemon right there with that moveset, but let's not stop there. Rayquaza with Air Slash and Dragon Ascent at 51.54. 4. Okay, so going into the Mega form, it is 20 points stronger than the non-Mega. That is absolutely mind-blowing. Wow. Then we have the Shadow Moltres coming in next with the Sky Attack, 46.06. Yveltal coming in next with Oblivion Wing, Ho-Oh, and then the regular Moltres all the way down there in the 9th spot at 39.79. So once again, guys, we actually have a regular legendary, still requires premium XL candy, but that one is going to be above this Pokemon. And also at the same time, you have to think that a Meteorite is required to unlock this move on this Pokemon. So it is not like you can get unlimited Dragon Ascent Pokemon, because although you were able to get from the research the Meteorites, but you also could rarely get them from the raids. It wasn't like we got a ton of them, so we could put Dragon Ascent on every single Rayquaza that we do have. Unfortunately, we just can't do that. It's just not a thing. But at the same time, guys, we have to take into consideration that we're using 64,000 less Stardust, we're using less XL candy, and you can get a lucky one. Power it up for half the Stardust. So guys, in my opinion right now, is Moltres going to be worth going absolutely buck wild to raid for? My vote is no. However, I would still get the shiny form. I still think it's relevant, but at the same time, this one does require an elite TM to be able to get Sky Attack on this Pokemon. But there's one more category that may be able to shift our perspective and check it out in PvP. So for the Great League, the Moltres is 412 or 464 for the Shadow. In the Ultra League, 230 or 292 for the Shadow. And then finally, the best rank placing is going to be in the Master League. In spots 97 and 98 with Wing Attack, Sky Attack, Elite TM move, and Overheat. So overall speaking, what would I do with this Pokemon? Me personally, I'm gonna get the shiny. I will probably do a few extra raids because I do enjoy the Shadow raids, and it's double weak to rock, so you should be able to stomp it out pretty quick. But besides that, am I gonna be maxing it? Am I gonna be investing in a lot of raids and resources like I did for the Shadow Mewtwo? No. That is gonna be the answer for me. You guys have to decide for yourself. I already showed you that there's more powerful flying and fire type Pokemon. They are not budget counters, but they can be semi-budget in the fact that you can use 50% less Stardust by powering up Luckies, which is so much better than going here. And then eventually, maybe both of those Pokemon could have a Shadow form, which would be very OP, but it definitely does have that chance. So there's gonna be the Shadow Moltres guide. Do you power it up? Do you do anything with it in Pokemon Go? I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you guys, likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members. Everybody takes their support, subscription, and participation to next level. I'm gonna see you guys out on the next video. Peace.
I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.